It happened on a Tuesday. The break room was full. Laughter, crumbs, plastic coffee stirring sticks. Then the door opened. Daniel, the manager, cheap suit, cheaper smile, walked in with two security guards flanking him. Everyone went quiet. Then he said it. "You're done here. Clean out your desk." No explanation, no warning, just a smirk and a condescending pat on the shoulder, like I was a dog being put down. Someone gasped. Someone else whispered, "What happened?" I didn't answer. I looked Daniel in the eye, saw the flicker of satisfaction when I didn't protest. I picked up my box, walked out. Not a word. Because some storms don't start with thunder. Some start with silence. I had been with that company for 11 years. First in, last out. I trained half the people in that room. And for what? To be thrown out like garbage. No meeting, no reason. But I knew. I'd been watching the way Daniel looked at me for months, like I was a threat he couldn't explain. He didn't like that I knew how the place really worked, where the cracks were, who covered them. He didn't like that I had influence. He wanted control. And to get that, he needed to cut the roots. So he did. Publicly, cruelly, and stupidly. Because what he didn't know, what none of them knew, was that 3 weeks ago, I'd started a conversation, a quiet one, with someone who owned more than just a few shares, with someone who wanted to sell. I didn't plan it out of revenge, at least not at first. It started with a chance meeting at a networking event, a drink, a handshake, a question. Have you ever thought about acquiring smaller operations? They had. I listened. Then I said one thing. I know a company, inside and out. The rest came fast. Meetings in glass towers, signatures, silence agreements, strategic outlines. And I said nothing to anyone. Not to my colleagues, not to HR, not even to the woman I was dating. Because the quiet is where the real work happens. By the time Daniel fired me, the deal had already been finalized. He just didn't know it yet. They never do. They think they hold the sword, until they feel it slide through their own spine. The next morning I wore black, not a suit, a statement. I walked through the same glass doors that I had been escorted out of 24 hours earlier. Reception stared. People whispered. Daniel was in his office, back turned, barking orders. He turned when the door opened, and froze. The regional VP stood beside me. "Daniel," she said, voice crisp, "meet Mr. Rhodes. He's the personal liaison of our new majority owner." His eyes twitched. "This is a joke?" he said. I handed him the folder. Not a word. He opened it, read. The blood drained from his face. A page fluttered to the floor. A termination clause. His, signed, sealed. He looked up at me, mouth trembling. I smiled. Small, calculated. "Now," I said, "clean out your desk." We walked him out together. Poetic symmetry. The same security guards, only this time I led. Every face in the office turned toward us. Some didn't bother hiding their grins. Daniel tried to speak, tried to plead, but his words were soft, hollow, useless. Because I wasn't angry, I wasn't loud. I was done. And that scared him more than anything. Outside, as the cold air bit at our skin, he turned to me. "You planned this. You used me." I stared at him. "No. You fired me. I just remembered who I am." He looked so small then, not the man who once barked across meetings, just a scared boy in a grown man's suit. I watched him walk to his car, slamming the door harder than necessary. It didn't matter. The building no longer belonged to him. They offered me the position 2 weeks later. CEO, corner office, black cards, stock options. I declined. Told them I preferred the shadows. Power tastes sweeter when it's silent. Instead, I reshaped the company from behind the curtain, cut the rot, promoted the loyal, restructured the foundation. But I never raised my voice, never gloated, never told them what I'd done. Because revenge isn't about being seen. It's about making sure they remember you every time they look over their shoulder. Daniel will never forget my silence, because it wasn't empty. It was the sound of control, and that sound, it never stops echoing.